Welcome back, PC World fans, for another romp through the world of computer hardware news with this week's roundup. I've got a good bit in store for you. I'm going to talk about how Microsoft blinked with the security requirements around Windows 11, major CPU changes that are being introduced with Intel's 12th generation Alder Lake, how despite woes from gamers attempting to get graphics cards, there are in fact plenty being sold, 3D Mark has an all-new feature test for DirectX 12 Ultimate, and some not so exciting news about how chip prices may be greatly affected by a move from TSMC. That's the top up. Now let me give you the lowdown on all these topics. Microsoft said Friday that the company is relenting somewhat on its minimum requirements for Windows 11, allowing enthusiasts that understand the risk to download and upgrade Windows 11 on older, unsupported hardware. Exact details remain murky, however, due to conflicting reports and the lack of an official Microsoft statement. It seems that users who choose to download a standalone Windows 11 ISO file will be permitted to run Windows 11, even if the PC doesn't technically qualify for the OS upgrade. Reports by ZDNet, The Verge, Windows Central, and Thurrott.com all include unsourced attributions from Microsoft spokespeople that say users will be able to run Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. Some of the publications implied that there will be a set of minimum hardware requirements that Microsoft will enforce, while others simply ignored them. For its part, Microsoft still seems to be saying that Windows 11 will require a minimum set of hardware requirements, most of which haven't changed. They go on to say, "We have concluded that the compatible 64-bit processors selected, 4 GB of memory, 64 GB of storage, UEFI secure boot, graphics cards requirements, and TPM 2.0 are the right minimum system requirements to deliver the principles we established to best support you," a blog authored by the Windows team said on Friday. To be clear, Microsoft's blog post did not publicly state that users would be able to download and install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware. Now, PC World has asked Microsoft representatives for comment, and PC World's Windows reporter Mark Hawkman will update his post when he receives a reply. We'll have to stay tuned for this one, but at least we do know that a new CPU will get upgraded thanks to Windows 11. Now, Intel is gearing up for its next CPU launch cycle featuring its new 12th generation Alder Lake processors. While these are most likely launching later this fall, no dates have been set just yet. But what has been set is the expectations of the cores and thread structure. Desktop parts are going to be packing up to 16 cores and 24 threads. But that's where the interesting part comes in. Normally, you would expect to hear the typical high core counts thanks to more cores, but what 12th generation features is a mix of high-performance cores with hyperthreading enabled and an additional cores aimed at efficiency which do not feature hyperthreading. According to Intel, Alder Lake's top-end chip will feature 8 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores. So that's how you get 16 cores and 24 threads. Now, if you're wondering how this is supposed to work with Windows, then you'll be pleased to hear that Intel has worked with Microsoft to develop a special thread scheduler called Thread Director that will optimize performance across all of these cores. The long and short is to think of the small efficient cores handling background tasks, while the big performance cores handle what you're working on so that they're not hindering each other. If you want to learn more about the makings of 12th Gen Alder Lake, we've got videos and articles for you, all linked down in the description. But if graphics cards are more your speed, then you'll be happy to hear that things are looking up, at least in volume shipments according to John Petty Research. While many PC gamers out there are still struggling to find that exact graphics card of their dream, that hasn't stopped vendors from pumping out record numbers to the tune of 123 million units in Q2 of this year. The overall GPU shipments increased by 3.4%, with AMD increasing by 2.3%, NVIDIA by 3.6%, and Intel pushing 3.8%. Now, market share shifts have always been an important number to look at because it shows us an overall market penetration for a moment in time. According to the report, in Q2 2021, NVIDIA holds 83% of the dedicated GPU market, with AMD holding 17%. What's interesting is that this time last year, AMD held 20% of the market, showing that they have lost some footing since. quite possibly due to supply constraints. Now, if you got one of these new graphics cards, then you'll be able to load 3D Mark and take advantage of the latest DirectX 12 Ultimate feature test. The team at UL Benchmarks has added sampler feedback to their feature test, allowing you to test this one out for yourself. Now, don't expect the same kind of uplift as you got in the past from something as impactful as mesh shaders, but I did run it on an RTX 3060 and saw about an 8% performance uplift. So that's not bad. And if you're wondering what it does, well, sampler feedback allows the GPU to take previous frame data and reuse shading from the previous frame. It can also allow for some of the shading to be done at a lower detail level. It's still going to be a bit before you see this one show up in games, and I'll be sure to let you know when it does finally show up. And last but not least, the news is going to be a bit of a bummer, and according to another report by our own Mark Hochman, TSMC appears to have plans in place to raise chip prices by 10 to 20%. And if you don't think that this won't most likely end up finding its way to the end users, well, then I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you. The report comes from the Wall Street Journal, and they claim that the chip maker is planning to raise prices as early as later this year or possibly early next year, all as a result of the massive increase for demand of their chips. Now, the 20% is going to be levied for manufacturing key automotive components, but we could see up to a 10% getting applied to those segments that make up your CPU and GPU chips. Well, there you have it, folks. Another rather interesting week behind us in the PC world. Microsoft softens its stance on Windows 11 requirements. Things are getting quite interesting for the upcoming Alder Lake CPU launch with a major departure from traditional core arrangements. GPUs continue to sell faster and in more volume than ever before, showcasing the growing demand for them. 3D Mark's new features test will allow you to check out some upcoming DirectX 12 Ultimate features before they make their way into actual games, and the unfortunate reality of possible processor price hikes settle in as demand doesn't wane. Now, thank you for joining me for this week, and if you found any of these topics informative and entertaining, let me know by hitting that like button, and make sure you're subscribed here at PC World so that you don't miss future PC hardware and software goodness.